Getting noticed by leadership can be tricky. It requires discernment. You want to show that you are a skilled team player ready for the next level. I'm going to walk you through a series of questions to ask yourself before you conclude that you deserve a promotion, and offer some tips on how to get noticed. Hi, I'm Ginny Clarke, a conscious leadership expert who spent 2 decades in executive recruiting and talent management. Having worked with giants like Google, Spencer Stuart, I discovered that the secret to transformative leadership lies in the 5 dimensions of conscious leadership. And I'm here to help you unlock your full potential. Join me on this channel as we embark on an honest and vulnerable journey together to become the kind of leader that genuinely inspires organizational transformation. One of my early jobs out of business school was in a global commercial real estate services firm. I was one of only a few black people in the whole company. And I'm not making this all about race, but to the extent there weren't many people who look like me, it could go a couple of ways, let's just be honest. It could work to my advantage in terms of me standing out and being noticed, hopefully for good work first and being different. Or it could mean I might be invisible to those who might have, let's call it, low expectations of me and my performance, or who didn't want to work with me or otherwise resented my presence. After a couple of years in a property management role, I decided I wanted to move into a portfolio management role. Now, I had mentioned this to my manager, but he was vague about the prospects, so I didn't push. I talked to my father every Sunday, and I expressed this to him, and he said, "Tell people what you want." He referenced his experience with a team member who sometimes assumed that he knew what they wanted for a particular role, assignment, or promotion. He had several hundred employees and couldn't possibly know all the desires of them. So I heeded my dad's advice, and I set up a meeting with my boss's boss to tell him of my desire to move into this other area for which he was also responsible. He listened intently as I described what I had learned over the past 2 years and how I thought I could add value to the other team and with clients. He closed by saying he would keep this in mind. Within 4 months, I was given this lateral role that took my career in a whole new direction for the next 7 years. So even though I left that firm after a couple of years. Moral of the story, don't assume people know what you want or that they are actively against you. Race did not seem to play a role in me not initially being considered for a move or in later getting the role I wanted. Let's get into these questions you should be asking yourself. Let's start with, why aren't you getting noticed? Are you shy or introverted, or unconsciously keeping your head down thinking the quality of your work will speak loudly enough? Trust me, it won't. You have to be able to toot your own horn without coming off as arrogant or showy. Speak up in meetings, but seek to make the most memorable comment, not just having airtime. Chatterboxes are memorable for the wrong reasons, trust me. Also, enlist some allies who can speak to your capabilities when you're not necessarily in the room. Those folks are sometimes known as sponsors. Mentors can also help with this. So there's a caution here, and that is that you need to be very honest with yourself, because some people have it in their minds. There's like this cognitive dissonance, this expectation, this deep belief that people are against them, that there's something bad that others want for them. And part of the reason I'm urging you to enlist some of these allies and sponsors or mentors is that they might be able to give you another angle on that thing and help you to see that this isn't necessarily the problem, right? It could be you. It could be how you're showing up, that you're not necessarily part of just a resistance, people who don't want to be with you. And frankly, if that's the case, if you were, maybe you shouldn't be inside of that organization. If you've got all these people against you, then either they're really terrible people or you could be doing something that isn't serving you, no matter how brilliant you might consider yourself to be. Number 2, ask yourself why you want this promotion. Maybe you think you've been at the company long enough and other people who haven't been there as long have gotten promoted. As a manager and leader, I can tell you that time in role does not entitle you to a promotion. I mean, you need to understand that. So don't go in leading with that argument with your leader. Good leaders and managers are looking at the quality of your work product, as well as what managerial or leadership behaviors you are exhibiting. Because the higher up you go in an organization, it's less about functional or domain expertise, and it's more about your leadership potential. So here's an old adage for you to think about. Do the work of the job you want. If you want to demonstrate that you're ready, show them. Don't leave it up to chance. Don't say, trust me. No one wants to hear that. Number 3, is this about more money? Careful. Get the facts before just asserting that you deserve more. Have you seen job postings for your current role that are offering more money? Get a friend in HR to give you the range for the role that you're in, because very often you're hired at the bottom of the range, and as you continue to demonstrate good performance, you get those increases or bonuses that keep you in that range. So understand all of that. Now, if you're aware of others in your role making more money, pay attention to what they're doing that is getting them noticed. And if you think there might be some pay disparities based on gender or race, before making any allegations, get your facts straight. There's a resource, and I know the leader of this organization is called Pep Talk Her, PEPTALKHER, all together, Pep Talk Her. And consider them as a resource to support that situation. They deal with gender pay gap issues, and they offer lots of advice on how to negotiate a higher salary. Number 4, do a self-assessment of your competencies against your current job description and the one you want. Also, review your past performance evaluations to remind yourself of what colleagues and managers have said about you, the good and the not so good, right? For the not so good, are you showing improvement? For the good, have you bested how good you can be in that regard? And are you pushing yourselves to the next level of competency in that space? Also, what kind of a team player are you? Are you supportive of others getting their work done? Or do you have sharp elbows and want to be the one who shows up at the finish line first? Because that's not going to engender a lot of support. As you're doing this assessment of your own competencies, I think it's also important to do a deeper assessment, some soul searching. Does this line up with your core values, right? Are you seeing inside of this group of which you're a part that you want to continue to move up in, that you believe in the work that you're doing? Because that's going to determine in part how successful you're going to be in convincing other people to join the team and to keep doing better and better work. A lot of people get so focused on the promotion and the title and the money that comes with it that they're not necessarily assessing the extent to which this role and this organization still align with your core values and who you are. I've seen people really almost lose themselves in the work that they do. They become singularly focused. Their identity becomes the job and the title. And that's dangerous because it compromises your ability to be a great leader. And at some point, in my experience, the bottom falls out. If you lose the job, if something else happens, you're going to be forced to face a harsh reality. So I think it's important to do this soul searching with every move you make. Make sure this is a place you want to stay where you can continue to grow and be who you want to be. Critically important. And lastly, understand context. And by this, I mean timing matters. Do you have a new manager who doesn't know your work that well? Are layoffs happening in your sector or elsewhere in the company? Because that's going to signal cost-cutting measures. So unless you're a highly valued, i.e. noticed person, you might not get more money or that promotion, even if you got the more senior title. And similarly, before you jump to conclusions about bias, notice how others like you are being treated and try to determine if there are patterns or if these are individual instances. Make sure that you're not taking this personally. That's why you need to pause and really reassess. what's happening around me versus what I think might be happening to me, right? Let's not play the victim role. Rarely is that the case. So the big takeaway for you in this discussion, tell people what you want. Like my father told me, don't assume others know your interests or your goals or your expectations. You aren't making a demand as much as making clear your intentions and asking for support in achieving them. And I'll tell you, I have found that if you tell people, they generally want to support you. They want to help. I also believe that the universe conspires to give you what you want. So speak it. I know firsthand how taking this first step can be the catalyst for a life-changing transformation. I remember the moment I decided to harness my own strengths, and it made all the difference in my career. That's why I've created a career mapping tool just for you to help you uncover your unique competencies and leverage them to design your career map. Take the first step towards next level by clicking the link in the video description, and let's start this incredible journey together.